nation's second biggest retailer said customers and employees don't need to wear a mask regardless of vaccination status unless required to do so by state or local rules. Earlier this month, Walmart and Amazon dropped mask requirements for fully vaccinated employees.
Take you live now to Kiev. You can probably hear there what is a siren now sounding in the capital there. The Kiev mayor also urging citizens to stay home after explosions were heard in the capital. Let's just listen in for a moment there. Grounds in Kiev. Of course, we are following this breaking news for you and will continue to bring you analysis and market reaction.
Tell us what's happening right now.
Guys,
Greg.
right now, artillery rounds. Guys, right now we are moving back from the front. The Ukrainian unit that we were with started to take incoming artillery rounds from Russian-backed separatists here in the eastern part of the country. So you can see some of the other journalists and soldiers who are with us on the front lines here, and you can hear that explosion there. Let's move a little quicker. We're good. We just got to keep moving here. Stay with us. Keep moving. If you guys can still hear us, off to the right there's a lot of incoming artillery. Russian forces. Where's Pierre? Where's Pierre?
Trey, I don't know if you can hear me right now, but do you have a sense of how far away that fire is originating from?
Yeah, this fire is just a few kilometers from where we're standing right now. And just give me a second, I gotta check in with my cameraman here. The fire that we have coming in right now is being fired from just a few kilometers away. Russian-backed separatists clearly identified there were a lot of people at that position and started to hammer it pretty heavily with artillery. You heard a few seconds ago those explosions in the distance. Those were incoming rounds. That's what the Ukrainian military has been dealing with the past 48 hours. They say they are following the Minsk protocols and that it's the Russian-backed forces, you hear in the distance there more explosions, that are violating this agreement. Remember, right now, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is in Munich at a security conference, and he is going to be meeting with world leaders asking for support ahead of a possible Russian invasion. President Biden yesterday at the White House, Defense Secretary Austin today in Europe have both said President Putin made up his mind. He plans to invade this country, where we're at right now.
Trey, what's the response from Ukrainian troops that are there? They're taking incoming. Are they returning fire, small arms, or likewise artillery?
The position that we're standing in right now, they are not returning fire. But we've been talking with a number of Ukrainian troops. Let's keep moving. You hear that? We've been talking with a number of Ukrainian troops this week as we cover this story. And they say returning fire within the confines of the agreement, meaning there are certain weapons they are not allowed to use. I want to give you a little bit more information, guys, about this scene. We were inside of a bunker when this artillery started coming in, talking with Ukrainian forces. The interior minister was the one here visiting troops. We were with his delegation. But as you can hear in the distance, those Russian separatists identified there were people at this location, and they've started to hit it quite heavily. Let's keep moving.
Yeah, I can hear that. You can hear that.
Talk to me. You can hear those artillery rounds coming in. We're moving right now with Ukrainian forces.
Let's
keep
Trey,
moving.
where are you
Let's keep
moving
moving.
to?
Move.
Back toward.
I'm listening.
Back toward the main line of Ukrainian forces. So that trench position was out front of the main line, and now you're heading back to Ukrainian forces.
Yeah, we are heading back to a forward operating base where the Ukrainians are working out of. This front line has been expanding over the past 48 hours. But again, the real concern here is that. 1 second, guys. Let's go. Move, move, move. Those rounds are super close. I can hear you.
As you can see, this is absolutely incredible. This is incredibly tense. Understandably, Trey is running, trying to catch his breath. You can hear how close some of these munitions are. Trey, again, if you can hear, what type of incoming are you taking? Looks like his shot is frozen as we speak. I don't know if you can still hear us. Is this small arms fire?
These
Trey,
are artillery rounds.
Artillery rounds.
These are artillery rounds being fired by Russian-backed separatists. It's really the only thing
Are these Trey?
they've been using today, but guys, we'll get back to you a little bit later. We got to get out of here. Let's go.
All right. All right, you know what? At the end of the day, Trey, Trey and our team's safety is first and foremost, and we'll continue to monitor what they're facing on the ground. But and he's moving the whole time. God bless him for what he's doing.
Trying to catch his breath.
Trying to catch his breath, moving away from a bunker that's being targeted by Russian-backed separatists with artillery. Right now, they're not shooting back in part because they don't want to respond to that provocation, which is exactly what Putin is looking for. They're heading hopefully closer to safety, and we'll check in with Trey and make sure he's doing all right.
Under sludgy grey skies, they move amidst the wrecked buildings, waiting for an attack they think could come at any moment. The front line is increasingly moody. It's tense with expectation. The soldiers know this conflict is shifting, and they fear the might of Vladimir Putin's army is massing not far away in the areas held by Russian-backed separatists. The Kremlin calls the soldiers a peacekeeping force, but the commander here tells me that is just another deception.
Збройні сили Російської Федерації будуть продовжувати нарощувати свою присутність на території Донецької та Луганської областей, які поки що знаходяться під контролем так званих ЛНР і ДНР. І швидше за все будуть пробувати вторгнутися на територію України для того, щоб повністю захопити по адміністративному кордону Донецьку та Луганську область.
The war has been grinding on for 8 brutal and unforgiving years. This memorial to a Ukrainian mortar unit sits desolate in the shadow of a smashed-up school. All along these front lines, there are reminders that death is never far away. And the abandoned buildings tell their own stories of lives changed forever by this conflict.
We've just heard the sound of fire in the background. We've come into this school for cover. This has been abandoned in the fighting, all of this town here. We're close to Donetsk airport. Now, the soldiers we're with, they are worried about what has happened with Vladimir Putin's recognition of the breakaway regions. They think that this may really be the eve now of a big invasion into this area by Russian forces.
It is hard to convey just how close the villages are to the front lines. This one is regularly hit by artillery, but amazingly, people still live here. They are the old and the infirm. People like 83-year-old Stepanivna, who have nowhere else to go.
Кому мы нужны? Ну куда я поеду, если я тут родилась, крестилась, и дети мои, и все, и куда я поеду? Я уже не боюсь ничего. Прибью, только хорошо, если прибили сразу. И все.
Ukraine is a country under psychological and physical siege. The soldiers here say the sanctions will not be enough to deter further Russian aggression. And they know they may soon have to fight to defend these positions as the Kremlin redraws the map of Eastern Europe. Alex Rossi, Sky News, near Donetsk.
Is going to supply this special military operation to protect Donbass?
It's too early for a response, Don, if I'm absolutely honest, because this has come out of nowhere. This speech by Vladimir Putin on Russian media, basically saying that he's launched this special operation in Donbass, calling on Ukrainians to drop their weapons, saying not to resist, essentially, and saying that any responsibility for bloodshed as a result of this, basically war that's been, suggested or declared by President Putin is on the hands of the Ukrainians who resist. Oh, I tell you what, I just heard a big bang right here behind me. I thought we shouldn't have done the live shot here. There are big explosions taking place in Kiev right now. I can't see where they're taking place from this vantage point here on top of the roof of the hotel in central Kiev. And I can't explain what they are, but I heard 4 or 5 explosions a few moments ago. I don't know whether our viewers or whether you in the studio there could hear what I just heard. You could, right. Yeah. So, I don't know what it is, but I will tell you that the United States has warned
Was that another one?
The Ukrainians. Yeah, I think it was. They're quite distant from where I am now. But I can tell you that the United States has of course, warned the Ukrainian authorities that it is possible that there could be strikes, airstrikes, missile attacks, ground attacks as well on various places around the country, including on the capital, Kiev. Now, I don't know whether that's what we're witnessing now, but it's a remarkable coincidence that I'm hearing these explosions
Matthew,
in Kiev right now.
Let me jump in and ask you.
Minutes after Vladimir Putin gave that speech.
Yes, minutes after the speech. I just want to, have you heard any explosions, anything similar since you have been in Kiev?
No, absolutely not. This is the first time. This is the first time that we've heard anything. It's been absolutely silent in this city throughout the course of tonight, and for past several weeks, we've not seen anything at all. In fact, I've never heard anything like this in Kiev for the years that I've been coming here and reporting from here. So this is the first time. But look, it's going to be more than just a coincidence. I can hear rumblings right now.
Matthew, is it safe where you are?
Pinpoint. Yeah, I think it's relatively safe at the moment. Look, I've got
There's another one.
I've got a flak jacket right here. Let me just get it on.
So Matthew Chance is in,
to
live for us in Kyiv, Ukraine. Matthew, we're going to stick with you. Matthew is on a roof in central Kyiv, he's telling us, and just for the first time, just moments ago, you witnessed live on this program explosions. Again, he doesn't know exactly what those explosions are, but he says it's the first time that he has heard them since he has been in Kyiv. He is trying to put on a flak jacket now to make sure that he is safe. I think we should stick with this just to see what's happening as he is doing this. And we'll get to our other correspondents in a moment, but this is where it appears there are things going on. Now, the president of Vladimir Putin moments ago saying that he was going to send a special military operation to protect Donbass, and then just minutes after that speech aired on state television, our Matthew Chance is doing a live shot for us here at 10 o'clock Eastern Time, 5 o'clock a.m. in Ukraine, and there are explosions. Again, not exactly sure what they are, but Matthew Chance is getting into place now, and he's live. Matthew, are you back with us? Can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear you throughout all of that. I'm sorry about the
Matthew, just so you know, your flak jacket is covering your microphone. If you can somehow get it out.
Yeah, here it is.
There you go. Now, loud and clear, Matthew. Go ahead, please. And please, if you're safe, you need to put on your headgear, or you're good.
Yeah.
Take your time.
Yeah.
Don't rush.
So look,
We're good.
sorry, I think I've broken my microphone as I put on the flak jacket. Look, there you go.
Okay.
I'll have to hold it in front of me like a little mic. But,
okay. So Matthew,
look, over the past.
I want you to stand by real quick. Matthew, don't go anywhere because I want to get to Clarissa Ward. She's in Kharkiv, and I understand, Clarissa, you are hearing blasts as well.
Yeah, that's right. It's been a few minutes now. We have been hearing a steady stream of loud strikes. It's not clear exactly what they are targeting. The city is eerily quiet still. Most people probably fast asleep when President Putin made that surprise speech announcing essentially the beginning of serious military action. We don't know exactly what those strikes are targeting, but our colleague Fred Pleiken, who is on the Russian side of the border, just about 30 miles away, has said that he has been hearing helicopters in the skies near Belgrade, not far from here. That's where we have seen a large Russian military buildup near the border. And now people here are going to be waking up to a very different country than the one they went to sleep in. President Putin showing no signs of backing down at all. And as I said, we've been hearing, it's quiet now, of course, always this happens when you finally come to us for the live, it's actually quiet for a moment. But we have been hearing a steady stream of thuds all around the city. We are in the city of Kharkiv. It's a city of 1.4 million people up in the northeast of the country. It is not a city that is accustomed to war. It has been hit heavily in the Second World War. But this is a city full of young professionals. And up until a few days ago, nobody would have believed that this was actually going to happen. And yet here we are after 5 o'clock in the morning, witnessing the beginnings of what promises to be a very ugly war.
Clarissa, I want you to stay with us, you and Matthew Chance. And for those of us who are just joining us, I'm sure many are tuning in. Many more are tuning in now. You're live watching CNN. What has happened just moments ago, there was a speech by the Russian President Vladimir Putin saying that he was sending a special military operation to protect Donbass. And moments after that, blasts were heard, where Matthew Chance is now in the city of Kyiv. Clarissa Ward also hearing steady blasts in Kharkiv or Kharkiv. Kharkiv is how she is pronouncing it there. And that had just happened moments ago. Clarissa, before I get back to Matthew said that he had not heard anything, any blast, this is the first time that he's hearing, even with the operation that had been happening for years in Ukraine. He had never heard anything like it. Is that the same for you?
Absolutely. I mean, we're used to, being on the front lines, covering the crisis and the war that's been going on here for 8 years. You heard artillery, you would hear gunfire, grenades, mortars, things of that nature. But what we have been hearing rumbling across these skies for the last 5 to 10 minutes is something of a very different nature. And I think that's borne out when you look at the buildup on the Russian side and you see the amount of weaponry and hardware and troops. This is clearly an operation on a much larger scale than anything Ukraine has witnessed in 8 years of this war. And what's just so striking is that the mayor of Kharkiv yesterday had put out a tweet basically telling people, continue about your daily business, stay calm, stay unified, the city services are still working, you should still go to work. And less than 24 hours later, here we are, the beginning of a major military operation. I would like to say that there are bomb shelters in this city, one that's not too far away from here. But so far, there's no sense that there's any way of telegraphing to ordinary people that this has begun or of giving them any sense of how they should behave, where they should go, what they should do. There has been a state of emergency declared across the country. But when we were coming into this city, hours ago, we saw a couple of checkpoints to go in and to go out, but that was about it. And so you definitely don't have the sense here that people are really properly prepared for this moment, Victor.
All right, it's done. Stand by. I want you to stand by. I'm going to get back to Matthew Chance. Matthew, joining us now. Matthew, you put on your gear. I'm glad that you're okay. Clarissa said that they heard a steady stream of explosions where she is in Kharkiv. And now we heard live what was happening to you in Kyiv. Any explosions?
Well, actually, since we last spoke, it's gone quiet again. But we did hear that flurry of explosions, maybe 7 or 8 different distinct explosions, but they seem quite distant away. I mean, it's when you come under artillery fire or you hear explosions close up, you can really tell how close they are, and these seem like quite a distance away. You can hear them in the distance. Still in Kiev, obviously, it's a big city. And we've got this good panorama across the city here now. And it's not quite clear, and I've been speaking to our security advisors here, it's not clear what may have been targeted, but obviously this is the capital of Ukraine. The Defense Ministry is here, the Foreign Ministry building is right behind us here, the government buildings, command and control centres are here. And of course, there are also units of the Ukrainian military on the outskirts of the Ukrainian capital as well, which are positioned, obviously, to defend the city from any kind of ground invasion. The reason I raise that is because one of the elements of the US intelligence has been passed on to the Ukrainians, according to the Ukrainian officials that I've spoken to, is that, the Russian attack, which has been, which was, talked about by this intelligence, which now seems to be sort of coming to fruition.
Is there anybody listening? Is there anyone that sees what's going on?
CD, if you need to take cover, I notice that you've got your gas mask in your hands. If you need to put it on, please do so. If you need to take cover, please do so. If you are able
we are now led to understand that there are also firings in another city in Saudi Arabia. CNN's Carl Rochelle is here with me. He just came up. Carl, I know we can't be very specific given these restrictions, but within those parameters, what did you see?
Well, what I saw, I didn't see anything hit. I looked almost straight above us, and there's a vapor trail coming from my right to my left, and there's a cloud of something. It looks like it might have been an explosion, a cloud, a white sand. What did you see?
Charles Jaco, CNN, reporting live from Saudi Arabia. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this shit. Look at this.
Let me say hi.
The top 10 things about Saudi Arabia. Maybe we could shorten the list to 5.
Oh God, Geopolitics by Dan Quayle.
Je suis un journaliste américain. Woof. Woof. Oh, I love this country so much. Standing down now, I'm gonna go get my hamburger and my coffee.
Good. We just got the all clear.
All clear. Every time I order something, this happens. All clear. Thank you.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I'm starting to get real bothered by all this. Boy, did I almost look stupid. Charles Jaco, CNN, reporting live from Saudi Arabia. No, wait a minute. Whoa, hold it, homeboy. I'm the talent here, you dig?
This weekend, ABC World News Tonight did something they now regret, dropping them firmly into the sights of the Trump administration, which can now point to the network as peddling fake news.
The video in question first appeared on ABC's Sunday evening broadcast.
This video right here appearing to show Turkey's military bombing Kurd civilians in a Syrian border town.
Compounding the error, Tom Yamas then tossed to foreign correspondent Ian Pennell, who voiced over the same video.
This video, obtained by ABC News, appears to show the fury of the Turkish attack on the border town of Tal Abyad 2 nights ago.
Almost immediately, the website Gizmodo reported that Twitter users were comparing the ABC video to YouTube video from a Kentucky gun range. The ABC video also appeared to have been altered. Shortly after it aired again on Good Morning America, ABC issued a statement saying, "We've taken down video that aired on World News Tonight Sunday and Good Morning America this morning that appeared to be from the Syrian border immediately after questions were raised about its accuracy." ABC News regrets the error. But nowhere do they explain what happened. And as critics point out, ABC News reaches millions of people a day.
The damage is already done. And not everyone is going to see the correction on Twitter, which is buried deep in their feed.
An ABC spokesman told us, "We are continuing to investigate."
I'm actually a little flabbergasted that the network doesn't want to be more transparent about this, that they don't want to explain what happened. Maybe they will, because the spokesperson was very civil to me, but he basically just reissued the statement that they gave last week. But once they find out what happened, because they were attributing it to a source. They said that the tape came from a source. I can remember that the short time I was at ABC, 2 pieces of video came into the transom that I had to go look at. One purported to show the mutilated body of Liberian leader Samuel Doe. The other, the mutilated body, remember when that American soldier was dragged through the streets of Mogadishu? We didn't know what it was. And those things came in on beta tape back in those days, or VHS, or whatever it was. You didn't just slap something on the air saying what it was without knowing exactly what it was or what the source was. So I'm surprised it got on the air in the first place, and I'm doubly surprised, especially in this day and age of fake news, that they don't want to be more transparent.
Yeah, I'm hard-pressed to go beyond what you just said. I don't see how they can get away without explaining what happened. There may also need to be consequences. I'm loath to I've made plenty of mistakes in my own time. I'm loath to call for someone being suspended or losing their job. But you got to own it. And do we know if they gave a statement on the news itself about this mistake,
No,
or did they just go with Twitter? Because that's bogus, too. You need to do everything you can to reach everyone who consumed the initial bad information.
Well, Tom Lamas, I should say, is not on again until this Sunday.
Okay.
But I'm sure David Muir didn't want to touch it. So Lamas is on this weekend. We'll see if he does.
And as you said, in the political context right now, it makes us all look kind of terrible.
I do want to say, can you imagine being in Kentucky and having that happen down? I hope they put up flyers around that town in Kentucky to let people know
Every
that
2
was
years
happening.
they do it, yeah.
Because that is terrifying looking video. But you're right. It's completely mysterious how it would have gotten in. I don't know if long term you can say this is some sort of a consequence of budgets being pulled back. They don't have foreign correspondents or people they can contract with everywhere to be on the scene, and yet there's this desire to still pretend that you're on the scene or sort of show news from
because
where
that's
it's
the worst
happening.
part of it. Ian Pennell, who is overseas, said it also purported to show, but he should have known.
Yeah, and it was so the transparency also wasn't there in terms of we're not here. This is video that they said we have obtained it, but that's very hedgy passive language.
This isn't some random mistake that could have happened to anybody. One of the most important things we do now is verify, curate, and show social media. This is baked into the process. So to say that, well, it's just some random thing that happened, you really can't say that. I hope what's going on is they're still genuinely trying to get to the bottom of what happened, and that at some point they will present a decent report explaining exactly what happened and put it on the evening news and put it on the morning news. I think they owe that to us.
Well, I would agree with that. And I say that to begin with, let's backtrack. Let's go to the social media people that said, hey, that's Kentucky. How did they know? I'm very interested to know how they
because
figure out.
These right-wing Twitter users that Gizmodo picked up on, they go to that. They knew what it was.
But I'm saying, but somebody had to know. There's a lot of video. You just can't.
They knew what it was.
But you know what I'm saying? But somebody had. I'm going to assume there's more than one video. So somebody is really paying attention to understand. Of all the videos out there that have explosions, this one was in Kentucky. That's my only point. So start there with your investigation. If they can figure out where this came from, how come you couldn't? For the foreign correspondent, did he see the video? Because that really bothers me that he's saying, as you can see, he did say it's purported or appears, but still, if he didn't see it, and he maybe have been able to add something, because he's there, for God's sake. So that is really a horrible situation. Yeah, they got to say something. And I don't think it's enough to have done it on Twitter. I think somebody has to do it on one of the programs. Why we're waiting for Tom Yamas on Saturday, I don't know. You know what, David Muir? You're wearing the big pants. Yeah. This is when you say it.
And just so our viewers know, there are companies that help news organizations verify this stuff. There's metadata that you can look at. There's reverse searches you can do on the internet. I mean, this isn't rocket science, and every news organization has been doing this for years.
The one thing, though, worth saying is, because everyone's going to come out from the right and say fake news, fake news. Donald Trump has already, for like as long as the day is long. ABC did admit it was a mistake. There is a difference between making a mistake, owning up to it, even if they're not owning up as prominently as they should, and deliberately putting
They
up
said they
fake
regretted the error,
news.
but they didn't really. They said took it down after they couldn't verify its accuracy or something like that. It's like, what? Are you still questioning whether it's accurate? I mean,
Yeah, its accuracy has been verified. It's from this Kentucky event.
Yeah, exactly.
Time so near, you can almost taste the freedom. There's a warm wind from the south, hoist the sail, and we'll be gone by morning. This will all seem like a dream. And if I don't return to sing the song, maybe just as well I've seen the news. And there's not